You know, we are a community, and if we don't pull together as a community, we again live in isolation.
Before, students were kind of isolated.
Everyone just kind of did their own thing.
And nobody would approach them to, have them come play with their class.
They were just kind of off to themselves.
Anything that's different, they view it as something that's wrong.
So I remember years ago it would be, who are you going to come to next this year?
So even me being a staff member here, I didn't know, not until I actually came into the classroom was I introduced to them.
As recently as 1970, only 1 in 5 school-aged children with disabilities were educated in U.S. schools. Many states had laws excluding children with moderate to severe disabilities from traditional public schools.
I'm afraid everyone thinks it's a burden. It's too tough. I don't have the time. We don't have the money. It's the whole culture. If we put them away and they're not in a different classroom and they're not mixed in, nobody's going to meet them. Nobody's going to be able to have the opportunity to get to know them. If you just see my son Travis walking across campus and don't ever get to meet him, you're not going to know that he's smart, that he's funny, that he's able.
There are times when you hear that you're going to have a student with special needs fully included in your class, and
sometimes it's scary.
I think we didn't know what it would entail, and I think I didn't realize how much we were lacking.
I know it may seem exhausting to get something of this magnitude up and running, but just like any other project, once you put the foundation, once you put the work into it, it does become like any other day. All the pieces fall into place.
It's really not necessarily more work. I just think then I'm not sure I have the skills set.
Well, what do we do if a student can't talk? And we would give them different strategies. And that basically set the platform for students like Christopher to come in and be welcomed and just be another student in the classroom.
But if we think about it, all of our kids have special, unique needs. You already have the skills, you're already doing it. You just now need to do it with other children.
I think I didn't know what to expect at the beginning. Now I see, yeah, we really were very segregated before.
And I think planning for other groups to come in, it is work, but not if you're working as a team.
everyone has to be on board.
Yes, it's going to be extra work, but the rewards for your students outweigh any amount of work that you'll be doing to integrate them.
Now that the students understand, I think that the students are able to tell the parents, well, this student did this, but this is why, and this is how we handled it. So I see that changing in the culture of Chandler. I see that everybody's becoming more aware and more welcoming. Our mission was to have students really learn from each other, no matter what their strengths or weaknesses are, just really become to know the person that they are.
Although all students now have a right to a free, appropriate public education, most students with moderate to severe disabilities still spend the majority of their school day in self-contained classes, despite strong evidence that these students learn best when provided the supports and services they need to learn alongside their peers without disabilities. At Chandler Learning Academy in the Los Angeles Unified School District, teachers are working together to ensure that all of the school students are full members of the school community.
The integration team is a group of people that work together to make sure that we fulfill our mission. It's a planning team. We figure out events that we can do to incorporate everybody and involve everybody, including parents.
To make sure that we were universally designing all different kinds of school-based activities, looked at different challenges, and brainstormed different potential solutions that we could then put into action.
We have teachers from different grade levels. We have general education teachers, we have special education teachers, we have people from the Division of Special Ed from the district, we have people from CSUN. So it's a very collaborative committee that really tries to push forward our vision.
Chandler's integration team has helped to increase both the quantity and the quality of time students with disabilities spend in age-appropriate general education classes.
I had a student who was fully included in general education with Down syndrome, and that made me want to be a part of the integration team to see how can I collaborate with other teachers, how can I collaborate with special education, how I can help or collaborate with the inclusion specialists to be the best teacher I can.
It's given me a lot of new tools that maybe I didn't have in my teacher bag before this school year.
We were basically demystifying disabilities and demystifying misconceptions. I know that we have students on campus that have different modes of communication, so during those ability awareness discussions, we allow them to ask questions.
As students from self-contained classes spent more time in general education, it was clear teachers needed additional time to plan together.
It was very clear from the get-go that teachers needed a plan. So to give that gift of time for them to plan and then articulate that plan to any support staff, whether it be a teacher assistant or a BII, is crucial.
That has made a huge difference because the special ed teachers know what needs to be prepared, or they will give the general education teachers different strategies on how the students can access the curriculum in a meaningful way.
Let's not work, harder, let's work smarter. Academically, I can say that all my students have benefited this year.
What do you do in the class?
I do timetables, and some of them are easy.
The success at Chandler echoes the success of schools working to employ inclusive practices all over the world. Students with and without disabilities know and appreciate one another. Adults are working as a team, and all students are benefiting academically.
Nobody's grades were affected by having other students integrated into our classroom.
Steven comes to our class. Every day he comes to our class.
Do you like it? Why?
Because I really want to be there.
Why do you want to be there?
Because there's Joaquin and Max, both of them.
And I think it made them also more confident in themselves and in their own abilities, because I think they felt better about themselves. And when you have that good self-esteem, then you get better at academics and in all areas of your life because you feel good about yourself.
Instead of it's those kids over there, it's, oh, hey, come on over here, let's play this game.
I have 100 friends.
So being in the other classrooms was a huge help because you got to see the models of how it is to be a positive student and how to model from that.
He wasn't meeting grade level standards, but he made leaps and bounds socially and how to be, I think, a successful student and sitting and having his peers demonstrate how to be a successful student.
He learns from mimicking and from copying, and I needed him to have really good role models and peers to copy. They get him and they understand him, and I've had so many kids come up like, can I please come and have a play date with Travis? And I've had kids that say, I understand every word that Travis says.
Beckham had a very difficult time, short, maybe 1 minute attention span in my classroom. Now we'll sit for the entire activity, and we'll join my group as well to follow along with reading, and joins in on the comprehension of the story and will answer my questions, which he was not doing before.
The students gain so much by having a variety of students in their classroom and by learning that people don't do things the same way, and we need to find ways to make sure that everybody's successful.
Inclusive education is a process and requires that school teams continue to self-evaluate and set new goals.
I'm hoping that someday it's like 100%.
Focusing on integrating students into content areas.
Right now we're pretty solid in certain grade levels. I'd really like to see that grow across K-5 or even TK-5.
Most importantly, really working on the quality factor, making sure that the students that are being integrated are meaningfully participating.
Just because someone's different, it doesn't make them into something less than a person.
I believe that number one, they just have to do it. They have to jump in and commit fully, wholeheartedly.
Go for it. There's nothing that you'll lose from it, but you'll gain so much.
Be open to it.
Be willing to try something new and see how it works.
Secondly, they have to plan. There are things that happen that are unexpected and you don't know necessarily what's going to happen next, and to plan is really important.
Definitely leadership. Just by implementing this integration team, when you have people in charge of something, then things can get done.
Thirdly, to be prepared that it's not going to be perfect. To realize that mistakes and you're learning along the way and things will happen, and that those mistakes are learning opportunities, and to take advantage of that.
There's going to be missed opportunities and whoopsies here and there, but you know what? It's part of just learning your craft and trying again the next day.
Change isn't going to happen overnight, and we have to be patient with that and just really do the little steps well.
And fourth, I think just to realize that the kids need us, and that if we don't do it, I guess we're creating environments of isolation. We need to start building and fostering friendships.
Raquel has been my neighbor. She's been in the classroom next to me for years and years and years, and I feel like her class is now more a part of this school. It's a good feeling.
Our students are not so scary as they seem, and it benefits the general education population.
Because of this team and because of us intentionally making integration a key priority, I do feel like our students are much more cohesive.
I've seen huge changes in the students in our classroom in just a year's time.
Other teachers are interested in it. If they're outside the grade levels that have really worked on it this year, they are interested in it.
Most importantly, the students here have been just so embracing and welcoming.
I think the best part was to see the smiles, not only on the kids' faces or the teachers' faces, but the parents. The parents were just like with these big smiles, and that just kind of warmed my heart.
I wish that people could see the relationships that have been fostered here. I wish that they would be able to see just a glimpse, to peek into the heart of some of these children.
He was included in my class, but we were included in his life.
And there's tons of high fives and fist pumps, and that wasn't happening before.
I think all children are incredible. I just think that sometimes I say collectively as a teacher, forget that each child has something to offer. Whether or not they can communicate, whether or not they are academically the same as everybody else. And I think that it's our job to find out what that is.
I'm constantly saying, like, yeah, it's really changed. It's really changed. And I see it in the students, which is a big deal. And I think they became better people.
If more schools take the stance that Chandler's taking and follow that direction, then it's going to keep catching. It's just like, it's a snowball effect.
It is definitely worth it.
It's been a good learning experience for all of us.
I think it was really a life-changing thing for me.
I would absolutely do this again.
I feel like this is much more of a family.
And it's just been amazing.
Caesar's a cameraman now.
Perfect.
You gonna be a
I think
cameraman?
we found a field of work for you. Yeah?
Yeah.